Hey guys, Dan Kalos here, back with another video. Today we're doing another video about some leaks. We have a lot to go through. And unfortunately, the post for these leaks has been taken down. So all we have to go off of are some videos on YouTube. They were taken down before I actually got the chance to make a video on them, and I regret that because I should have taken like a snapshot or something at least, but unfortunately I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think to. And so because of that, I will have some links to some videos down below in the description with actual images of what the leaks will look like, or would have looked like. And let's get off into the first one. The first one being that there are just more evolutions and Galar forms, just similar to what they did in the Alola region. So, yeah. The first one that I want to talk about is evolutions. So it was, how do I say this? So someone who was in attendance to the demos of the Sword and Shield games has posted supposedly that there was a video with a cartoon of Eevee evolving, and that Eevee then kind of has two evolutions, one of which is Steel and the other is Dragon type. And for me, I'm pretty curious to see where this goes, because there isn't exactly a whole lot of evidence to actually support this leak. There's some things that they have provided, like they've provided actually surprisingly a large amount of information, like for example, Chairman Rose is Leon and Hop's dad, which Leon is the champion and Hop is your rival. Their mom is the second professor. Leon is the one who actually gives you the Pokemon at the start of the game. And then there's Meltan is pretty important to the story, as it seems. There's 142 new Pokemon with 27 Galarian Pokemon forms, which, again, huge deal. There will be a new Direct at the end of September, which is, if you guys can remember, the most recent potential giveaway video that I posted, that at the end of September we'll be doing we'll check up to see if there's a Pokemon Sword and Shield giveaway. And this leak kind of goes on to talk about how Meltan is kind of important in that Meltan is used to release Eternatus, which we know was spoken about in another leak actually. So this gives the post some validity in that regard, but it's still, I wouldn't take it with like as truth just yet. However, it does go on to talk about how in the cities there are things that will be used. It actually does mention urban areas once again within a city, and it does mention that a wild area, it's like urban areas are like wild areas in a city. So that kind of basically confirms the urban areas, if either leak is true. And then in the next month's Koro will introduce you to Impidimp, which we know is a thing, which is a pretty bold prediction, but still there's a prediction with this leak, which I think is pretty bold to say the least. However, it goes on to talk about 3 new sets of version exclusive gyms that are in the game. The last one will be Ice for Shield and Dark for Sword. It doesn't actually, so we have 2 confirmed now, different gym version exclusive things. One fighting, one ghost, one dark, one ice. So there's one more apparently on the way. However, this leak also mentions something that I think is the bulk of this, and that is that this leak goes and states that there's a transit system in the Galar region, and that transit system will extend into Kalos. Yes, you heard me correct. That within a couple of years' time, with Ultra Sword and Ultra Shield, this train station will be able to connect to Kalos. And then it goes on also to speak about, how Brock and Misty are in Sword and Shield. But, that's huge, but it's not as important as freaking Kalos region will eventually be introduced as post-game content in Sword and Shield. Whether that means, in the remakes of Sword and Shield or in the Sword and Shield games themselves, I don't know. The leak says it's in the remakes, but for me, this is where the meat of things really just kind of it gets pretty big, because now one of the things for me that would make Pokemon Sword and Shield at least redeemable is that there's going to be really good post-game content. And Kalos region as post-game content is pretty good. That brings me very much excitement. And there have been other leaks as well confirming this. There's another leak that was on 4chan a little bit before it was taken down. So this leak goes on to talk about, starter evolutions for Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey. Actually giving them names and typings. So for Scorbunny, so far we only know that it maintains its... They only got a glimpse of the second stage, and it still maintains its fire type. For Sobble, there's nothing yet confirmed by this leak, but there have been rumors floating around that Sobble will become a ghost type, which I'm really excited for. And that Grookey will actually turn into a grass psychic type. That's weird. But I'm excited to see how Game Freak takes that, if that is true. And then also goes to confirm that yes, Lapras, Charizard will get Gigantamax, as well as a Gigantamax Mimikyu, which I think is interesting. And then it goes on to describe how Mimikyu becomes a giant doll thing, which resembles a Mega Bayonet. And then there's Gigamax Duraludon. I still don't know how to say his name after all this time. They actually did get to see the artwork for this, and that Duraludon gets 6 limbs. There's another Alphaderm, which is a psychic elephant. And then there's, I think it's Warmoo, that's a bug type Pokemon. And then Rolly becomes a Claystall, and then something Ortram, I think is what this leak is saying. And which is Rock and Steel type. And then there will be older Pokemon evolutions as well. And this is something that's interesting, because this has been rumored for a very long time now that they will be using beta Pokemon in Sword and Shield. And what that means is because beta Pokemon are basically Pokemon from the original Gold and Silver games that never made it into the final game. In that they were actually coded into the game, but there was no way to access them. They were never in the they're not in the Pokedex entries. They're not, you can't run into them in the games. But they're in the games, which, they made it into the game somehow. And it's interesting how one of them was actually Surfetched, which was confirmed by another leak a little while back, which is an evolution for Farfetch'd. And there's another one for Hawlucha, there's another one for Avalog, there's an evolution for Carbink and Mantine. So there's a whole bunch of things going along, and it goes on to talk about here, and this is why I kind of included this leak in this video, is that the evolutions that this leak talks about are Ground and Steel. Now, that's a little bit different from what we actually heard in the previous leak, where it talks about it being Dragon and Steel. And here it actually provides a name, Tactneon and Razion. However, what does make this at least somewhat credible for me, this leak, is that they did get the Steel evolution in common. And it was an evolution as well, so I think that, this is going to be a very interesting time in the next couple months, as there will be another direct for Pokemon at the end of September. And also goes to talk about at the end of this next leak, it talks about the third legendary is a bow shaped, what appears to be a bow in its mouth, and it's electric steel, which I don't know if the typings for Zacian and Zamazenta have been confirmed, but steel seems to be the theme here. And I think that makes sense. But let me know your guys' thoughts on all these leaks, because there's some pretty big stuff in here. Some of it is probably not true, seeing as the evolutions, for example, we can't get ground, steel, and dragon type when there's only going to be 2. So one of them has to be false. But let's hope that the consistent theme of Kalos region being the post-game content remains true to you. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts on this are, and I'll see what you guys see talk about in... Wait, what was I saying? I'll read what you guys talk about in the comment section below, and I'll try to at least reply to every comment that I get. But yeah, having said that, thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't enjoy it, and comment below why you didn't enjoy it if so. That would really help me out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, don't forget to subscribe, because if we can hit at least 50 subscribers, I will be giving away a game copy of Sword and /or Shield, depending if we hit 100 subscribers at the end of September. So yeah, spread the word, get the word out. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace.